Well, the love affair with Biden-Harris has begun in the news. So far, I've seen an expose about Biden's socks, his dogs, what his favorite color is, Kamala's shoes, her relationship, and her love with her husband, Doug, the first gentleman. It's just amazing how the news has completely done a 180 and shown us our true color, or their true colors, with their, cover of the presidency and president-elect. I mean, we went from, Trump is the devil, Melania is a whore, to, whatever else, to, Biden is wonderful, look at all these flags, he's the most patriotic president to ever live. Kamala's a role model, let your daughters look up to her, anything is possible. And I'm going to be really careful with what I say, because I don't want to get my channel nuked by YouTube. But it's just utterly ridiculous. I mean, we got a guy who's been in politics for almost 5 decades. We know what he is. He was friends with KKK, spoke out against black people and minorities and, whatever. Now all of a sudden he's on the verge of being the president of the United States with a huge following who is willing to just dismiss all that. It's all on video. There's transcripts. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, just you can Google him in his own words, talking about how he told the Ukraine that he was holding back $1 billion of funding, which is ridiculous. Why are we giving $1 billion to anyone? If they didn't fire the prosecutor that was looking into his son. And now this guy is he's not president yet, but he's on the verge of being president. And a woman who is widely known to have slept her way to the top is now our vice president and your daughter's role model. And the news isn't covering any of it. Even my local news, I don't really watch the news because it infuriates me. But even the local news here in Orlando, they're not covering anything. They're not willing to ask any hard questions, do any hard-hitting stories, any investigation, any of that. And they weren't willing to do it before the election, and now it's suddenly a love affair. We have these two people who are an atrocity. And trust me, I would say the same thing about, any GOP candidate. I'm completely vocal about corruption in politics. But it's been a 4-year investigation with no evidence of Trump. And I'm not saying he was perfect. I did vote for him. I think you've probably figured that out by now. But I was in no way happy with everything he did. But as far as impeachable offenses, anything like that, there was nothing there, but it's all they had. He was a racist, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever, and with no proof. I mean, it's just utterly ridiculous. But yet here we are, and tomorrow, he's going to get sworn in with 25,000 National Guard. Some of them sworn in as U.S. Marshals with arresting powers, with a giant barbed wire wall around the Capitol building. It's just sad. I mean, this is utterly embarrassing for us. This is not a peaceful transition of power. And now they're talking about unity and, hope and whatever, man. Unity is gone. There's not going to be any unity. To impeach a very popular president when he's got 10 days left in office if Biden was a man, if he wasn't a partisan hack piece of crap, he would have said, listen, he's got 10 days. Let's just get through it. Whatever. This is very bad optics for us. The one thing that all the news stations never played in all this impeachment hearings and all this, the second impeachment, was any part of the rally. CNN did a part where they cut it up, and it was the most ridiculous cut. It was like, Trump incited the violence. Here's the video, and it's Trump saying, we're going to go to the Capitol, and then it's a complete cut, like where he's over here, and he's like, oh, now he's over here, and we're going to fight. So the idiots who watch the mainstream media are going to look at it and be like, see, there's the proof. But what he actually said was, we're going to go to the Capitol, and we're going to peacefully and patriotically protest this electoral college certification. That's what he said. I was there. I heard it. In no way was he inciting anything, and yet they impeached him for it. So it was completely political. There's no, even CNN came out and said, like, hey, later on they were like, after it all happened, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, he never said that. So, but here we are. So if you want unity, you're not going to get it that way. So Biden is no leader. Kamala's no leader. I'm going to be very careful, like I said, not to get nuked by YouTube. But they don't belong there. It's mathematically impossible for what happened to have actually happened. So, whatever. Here we are. I guess we'll get our popcorn and watch, what happens tomorrow and the rest of the day today. But it's just a pathetic, sad day in America. We're losing a president who, with all his imperfections, I think really cared about the American people. And he didn't have the help of his party. He didn't have the help of the media. And he really didn't have any help in Congress to do anything that he wanted to do. So it is what it is. I don't know, after tomorrow, I'll probably just stay away from politics because there won't be anything to talk about. It'll be, canceling the Keystone Pipeline on day one. And God knows whatever else. They'll get rid of the filibuster because of Romney and a few other closet Democrats. And they'll just ram through whatever they can. I think they learned from Obama that, just do it. Just get it done, Don't worry about whatever anybody else did. I think Obama tried to be a little bit more, a little bit more careful. I don't think they're going to be careful at all. And I think they'll pack the court if they have to. I think they'll probably succeed in getting rid of the filibuster, which will just give them carte blanche to do whatever they want. Because they now have all three branches both the branches of government. And if they can't get the third branch to cooperate, they'll just pack the court, and that'll be it. And we'll get 2 years of, total trash, trash policy. Gas is probably going to go up to $4 or $5 a gallon. And we'll be back to Middle East energy dependence. And that's what they want. Then they can push through their Paris Accord, bullcrap and global warming and, whatever. But anyway, we really blew it. But, in some cases, we knew where the fraud was going to occur. We knew what was going to happen. We knew what they were going to do. And nobody did anything about it. And in some cases, we're complicit in making sure that, those things took place on both sides, both parties. It wasn't at all a Democrat, election fraud. It was election fraud that goes across, way across party lines. So especially in Georgia with that piece of crap Brian Kemp, and his Secretary of State or whoever. It's just, it was pathetic. And I'm seeing a lot of calls for people saying, what's the point in voting? On the federal level, it's to some degree, I agree with them. If they can just pull ballots out of wherever they want and suitcases in the middle of the night, and we're now to the point where it's going to take weeks, so that way they can plug in the ballots they need. And, there really kind of is no point of voting federally until they get this under control, and I don't see the GOP putting up a fight to get it done. Some states will tighten the reins, but ultimately I think people should definitely vote for local and state races. Maybe we can fix this problem from the ground up, but I don't know. I think things are going to be bad enough to where we'll win back the House, and maybe the Senate in 2 years, because this is the way things go. If they get the voter fraud issue under control, but that remains to be seen. So anyway, just be like a squirrel and store your nuts and try to make the best of it and survive, I guess. I don't know what else to say. So anyway, Godspeed to all of you, and it's been a fun 4 years, but here we go. Times are about to get tough.